are, guys, back again with podcast 11.
Gingy and the
11,
Big Fox.
the Gingy and the Big Foxy. NRRRL wrap. Mate, this is probably the best part of my whole week, you know.
What was that? Come and see me at the podcast.
There's two reasons. One is, and you're going to hate me for this, but you do know it, I love talking footy. If I actually had a full-time...
Do you?
Yeah, mate. If I actually had a full-time job, that'd actually be talking footy.
Yeah.
You know, we've got the Talking Sport show, but, mate, I reckon I can talk better footy than those Talking Sport guys. But
I know more than anyone because I'm sitting here trying to reel you in every week.
But, mate...
But, Gingy, first of all, happy NAIDOC week.
Happy NAIDOC week. How about that audience, eh? It's what a week. What a week.
Got my jumper on tonight.
He's got the old flag hoodie on, and I'm happy. I'm representing as well. I've got the common threads.
Beautiful.
Which is, you know, part of what we do.
It's been a great week so far, isn't it?
You talked about something last week.
Yeah.
You talked about the old grapevine.
Yeah.
Koori grapevine.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's good fruit that falls off or whether it's sultanas. But common threads is a bit like that. It's about the yarns that get out there, and, you know, you're all about, you know, what's happening in all the different parts of the country and who's doing what, where, why, and when. And, you know, there's a lot of conversational going on out there at the moment in the country about different aspects of that have a lot to do with Indigenous people right at this point in time. I'm not going to be political tonight, and I don't like being political at the best of times. But, mate, what a week.
Beautiful week so far.
What about it? 4-hour elders is the theme this year.
How good is that?
Oh, well, mate, the way I look at it, there's two people that are doing the podcast now that wouldn't be if it wasn't for our elders.
100%.
Mate, our grandparents, our, you know, great-grandparents, mate, they forged our way for us to be doing what we're doing. God help them. They're probably both looking down on me and you going, what have we produced?
What are they doing?
But anyway, you know, look, thank you to all of our elders. Pay our respects to all of our elders around the country. We also pay respect to our elders that live in other countries. You know, we're a very global podcast now, and we know we've got our mob living, you know, in all parts of the country now, overseas,
worldwide.
in America and England. You know, I've got mob that live in Vanuatu.
Yes, you
There
do.
you go. But in saying that, you know, what a great week.
Great week so far. I've been out doing a few of the NAIDOC celebrations, absolutely loving it.
Mate, today, very, very, very special event.
Today was very special.
Down in Ballina. We had the Jarley Land Council, who I just happened to work for. We today put on a day down there in the Shire of a really, really important aspect of what's happened since February 2022 with the catastrophic flooding, obviously, both in Lismore and across the region, but down in a place called Cabbage Tree Island.
Yep.
Mad, crazy rugby league community, very well known in the rugby league world, particularly at the knockout levels. Been very competitive over many, many years. Produced so many great players in the NRRRL, and also produced players, you know, at higher levels, both at NRL levels, New South Wales Cup, you name it. I mean, a little community, 180, 200 people living in the community, and they produced. I mean, we could roll the names, you know, off the top of our heads. You know, like you've got blokes like Bryony Kelly, you've got you know, Tyrone Roberts, who's got a connection through family to Cabbage Tree Island. Mate, we've had talking about Bryony Kelly. How good was his dad? Old Bryony.
He was good, wasn't he?
Mate,
played country too.
Mate, played New South Wales country. He's a 5'8".
Yep.
You know, so you know you've got those sort of players. You know, and you've still got players like, you know, Clarence Kelly, who's connected to you know, through the Kelly family out there as well. Played New South Wales country.
The old boy himself, Alan Roberts.
Alan Roberts. So, mate, we're going to
happy birthday, Alan.
Happy birthday to Alan Roberts. We're going to get on to maybe having a bit of yarn about Alan and his career in the. We might even get him on in a podcast. I'd say he's up there with one of the oldest first graders running around in the competition at the moment, but probably one of the best on form, purely on form. But, mate, we've got a lot to talk about tonight. obviously, like we do in every podcast, we're going to start with our first
So
segment.
if you're out and about
your
local area, check out what's happening
Definitely.
for NAIDOC week. There's lots of good things happening.
The event as I said, the events tomorrow. I think there's a massive day in Ballina for families.
Yeah.
Down at one of the
Porter Park, I think.
Park, it is.
West Ballina.
There'll be rides for kids. There'll be face painting. There'll be food. There'll be entertainment.
Food.
Yes, you're one of your best.
I'm there.
One of your best. And also, apart from that, good company.
Yep.
And everyone. Doesn't matter where you come from, black, white, brindle, doesn't matter.
Come down, celebrate.
Get down, have some fun, and really get into it and enjoy the NAIDOC celebrations. I mean, Tweed Heads have got a lot going on up there tomorrow as well.
Yep.
They've got a big calendar of the week. There's things happening in Lismore. There's things happening over in Casino, right across the region.
Go and check them out.
Look, just jump on Facebook or social media, find out what's going on around in the communities. Make an effort to get along. I think you won't regret it.
No.
They're actually really, really great days and really, really great events. And we encourage every rugby league supporter and every person in community just get out and support the wonderful week of NAIDOC Week. And again, the theme of this year's NAIDOC Week is for our elders. So we pay our respects to all the Bunjalung elders and all the clan groups of the Bunjalung Nation. And we hope you have a great week for the rest of this week. And it's all about you guys. So we'll be celebrating that for the rest of the week. So, mate, let's get into the podcast.
Get straight into it.
We'll get into the first, what we always do.
Our first segment.
Into around the grounds.
Let's do it.
Okay, here we go. Let's have a look at last week's results, Leslie, and I'm going to throw it over to you, mate. We're going to maybe start with the Ballina and Murwillumbah game.
Mate, let's kick it off with Ballina versus Murwillumbah.
Yeah, mate.
Big
I'm going to go
there.
straight to the score.
Straight to the score. 36-12. To Ballina. I thought it was going to be a bit closer than that. Obviously, Ballina had a couple of weeks off. Then they had their first loss of the season against Malamba last week, and then they bounced back with a 36-12 win over Murwillumbah. And I'm just going to go. I think I've said it for the last 3 weeks, but I think that's Murwillumbah's season's over, mate. Yeah, I think it's over. I was expecting a big win from Ballina. As we said, it was a big day down there of celebrations for some past grand final teams.
2013 and
2093, I believe, and 2013.
And I think, mate, talking about Alan Roberts earlier, I think Alan Roberts was the captain of the 2013 side.
He was in the team, but I think...
Mate, he told me on the weekend.
Greg Ryan was the captain, I believe.
Now, tell me, you probably know a little bit more, because in 2013, I actually started working in Western New South Wales at that time, and I was out there coaching in Moree, winning premierships. Alan told me a little story on the weekend, and I don't know if it's right.
Okay.
Did he have a 6 on his back?
He did play 6 a couple of times.
He said he played 6 in their grand final.
He could have. I can't remember, but I do know he played 6 a couple of times.
I've only got one word for that. Wow. Wow. Great player. Had the skill. Like, he could play 6. Not a worry. And he has played 6. But I always liked him as a 13.
Yeah. 13 or front row.
So, yeah, big day down at Ballina, mate, celebrating their reunions. And
too good to see goals.
And too good, mate. Yeah, and as I said, that's Murwillumbah season's done and dusted for 2023.
I believe so. I'm agreeing. All right.
Next game, mate.
Next game. Let's get into it. Mullumbimby versus Coogin.
I'm smiling.
Mate, what did I say last week? Do you remember what I said about Mullumbimby?
I do. Well, I don't want to, but I will go there.
Say it.
You're right. You actually tipped an upset.
No, I didn't.
What'd you tip?
I actually said Mullumbimby's gone.
You did.
I said that's their season gone.
Did. I actually said that. Actually, I think I said
it was the opposite.
I actually said they'd go all right.
Yeah.
Geez, it's good to say. What did I say they'd go all right?
You said they'd go right, and I said their season's gone.
And you're agreeing with me. And anyway, look, viewers, upset of the round.
Yeah.
Mullumbimby 16-14 over Coogin, scored a try on the bell, missed the conversion, but the try in the corner, give them the 16-14 on the 16-14 win. That could be a very
good, crucial win for Mullumbimby because it keeps them potentially just in the 6 or on the cusp of that.
It could be very bad for Coogin as well.
Could be very bad for Coogin because it actually pushes them down the ladder with some tough games ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Some tough games ahead, and I'm not going to write Coogin off because I think they've got a quality playing group.
Caleb Zeeble returned.
He did. I think he looked really rusty.
He did pick up a try.
He played like a centre.
He picked up a try. He was out very wide at times.
He was actually playing at centre when he scored the try. But in saying that...
I thought Mullum's forward pack were really good, though, on the weekend.
They were just hungry. They just defended they defended their butts off.
Yep.
Those Pommy guys, mate, I like them. I'll tell you why. They look like they're coachable. And the other thing is, there's an old saying that I used to have a long time ago. You can hit those guys with bricks, but they still get up. And that's the nature of the way they play the game. They are a very forward-orientated team. They've got some nice quick outside backs. But, look, mate, upset of the round.
Nice win, Mullum.
Nice win. Coogin still they're still just in the 6.
I'm still sticking with I think Mullum's going to miss out on semis.
It'll be interesting to see because, as Harrow said to us a couple of weeks ago, the way that the top 6 is structured, the only guarantee
is 1 and 2.
3 play 6. So there's 3 teams, and we'll talk about it in a minute. There's 3 teams equal on points, and we'll have a bit more of a chat about that when we get to the other one. So, mate, next game,
Kyogle versus Tweed Coast.
Close.
28-16.
Mate, it got 28-16, but I'll tell you what. There was a period in this game, seriously, where I reckon Tweed Coast were really worried. It actually got 22 or 20-16. Kyogle had patches in the game where they looked really good, and it was just a couple of defensive efforts that let them down.
I thought Tweed were. I thought they were in control of the game for most of the game, even though that the score got close there at one stage, and then they kicked away again. Yeah,
look, mate, Tweed's going to be the team. Tweed's going to be one of those teams, mate, between now and the end of the season where they're either going to be in a game and fight it out, or they're going to be finding it really tough against the good teams, and they peter out. They're a danger side, I think, in the 6. They're one of those danger teams that's going to be in the 6 because you just don't know what they're going to give you every week. And any team that does that is really dangerous. So, look, great win in the end. It keeps them going along in the direction they want to go in. I know Robbo would be pretty happy, over there with where they're at in the position look, he wouldn't have gone into the season thinking that anything else other than being in the 6, and he's there. Yeah. So I think they'll maintain that. I've had a look at their run in the back end, and it's a pretty good run.
Congrats, Tweed.
Congrats, Tweed, mate.
All right, mate. Let's go. Casino versus Byron Bay.
Yeah, mate.
44-22, Byron Bay.
Look, I'm going to be really honest. The win doesn't indicate the game. Casino were good, patchy. Ryan did play on the weekend
in 6.
He actually tested that Byron defence at given points, and they just struggled.
I thought Casino tried really hard.
They did. That was a great effort.
They kept trying. They scored when they scored some tries. They were some pretty good tries that they scored as well.
And mate, I'm going to be I'm just going to throw it out there. Some people might agree with me. Some people might disagree with me. If they're probably from Byron, they're going to disagree with me. But I think if, like, Byron's in the 6, on the back of that win, they didn't really show me any improvement from when we played them. They're one of the teams that are going to be in the 6. I mean, they're going to throw up stuff that sometimes they if they're good, they're good. But I don't know how far they can go in the back end. But mate, I think a lot of people said that about Evans last year, and they went on to make a grand final. So
I did notice Byron did do one positional change, and that was Michael Thomas from fullback to centre, which I think is that's a better move. I think Tomo's a centre.
Every day.
I played centre with him. Not centre with him, but I played with him at Ballina when he was a centre.
Mate, I was going to say.
I think that's his spot.
Yeah, okay.
But Carney was still in the 9.
I don't like that.
Me either.
Yeah. Todd, I know you're not the coach. You know, you got to get in the 6, mate.
Yeah.
For Byron to be competitive in the final series, if they get there,
He needs to take control of the team from there,
if he's
doesn't
not
he?
in the 6, mate, they're in trouble.
Yeah. But good win, Byron.
Mate, Brothers v Lower.
44-16, Lower.
Yeah, look, you know what I'm like. I'm not going to sit here and pretty things up. Have a look at my face. I can't do that anyway. Mate, Lower, hot and cold. Mate, that when they're good, they're good. When they're bad, they're bad.
Yeah.
I mean, 42-16. Not saying that Brothers, not saying that the score should have been bigger, but Brothers actually really tested Lower at given points in that game. Look, we all know Brothers are going through somewhat of a rebuild from a whole of club perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I think either Lower took Brothers really cheaply, or Lower's really. I think that Lower look like they're running on tired legs.
I think they started really well. They scored 3 quick tries early and jumped out to like a 18-0 lead, and then they sort of just kicked back for a little bit.
Yeah, mate, I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to say it again, tired legs. Mate, Duggo plays just about 80 minutes every week. He looks tired. There's no time to rest in this competition.
I didn't notice any Grant Brown on the weekend,
no, he wasn't
did you?
On the weekend.
No.
Could be some.
And that's one thing that Grant brings to a team is enthusiasm.
Energy.
Energy.
He's like an energy bunny.
Yeah,
you know,
Energizer bunny just doesn't stop.
Batteries. Anyway, but you know, good win to Lower.
Yep.
Down at Lower, but I still think going into the back end of the season, they're going to have to produce some big, you know, turnarounds in their season.
Well, they're still in the hunt for that 6th spot, aren't they?
Mate, they're just
so if they really want to be there, they really need to start turning it on, don't they?
The next couple of weeks are important.
Yeah.
Mate, next game.
Next game. What do we got?
We got Northern v Bombers.
Northern v Bombers. I'm going to hand this one over to you.
Well, mate, I'm going to say that
score
48-24.
Big high-scoring game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a high-scoring game in the end. Look, I think our first half was we were good. I think we could have been better, and there was a lot of room for improvement. We were looking for an 80-minute effort, and that's what I call for. Our second half, you would have heard my second half talk to the boys. It was pretty animated. Mm-hmm. But the pleasing thing for me is execution. We went out in that second half, and for the first 20 minutes of that second half, we executed what we talked about, what we talked to. The challenge went out to the playing group, and in doing so, I think that first 20-minute phase after halftime is where we consolidated that win. Mm-hmm. No disrespect to Evans Head. I thought they were good as well, but they were patchy. There's still plenty of room for improvement for Evans. Mm-hmm. But the scary thing is there's still plenty of room of improvement for Northern as well. Mm-hmm. Moving forward into the competition. Look,
a couple of their players looked a bit busted too, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Like
They've got some injury problems.
Shillo didn't look like he was 100%,
they've got some injury
did
problems. Shillo looked like he was out on one leg. You've got young Pongy. It looks like he's either carrying an injury or not well. He's probably HIA this week or for the next 14 days. That could be, you know, not good. I'm not quite sure what the lower grades. They forfeited reserve grade on the weekend.
Yep.
So I know the Evans Head Fishing Classic had a lot to do with that. You know, so the boys would have been out on the fish rather than on the field. But yeah, look, mate, I'm just going to say we're happy with the win. We could take a lot away from that. I'll talk about some other interesting things that have come out of that game when we get to the back end of the podcast. But overall, mate, we progress our way through in the competition. We're sitting equal first.
That's the first game I've seen Aaron Roberts having. He had a big game on the weekend in a while. He was huge.
Massive.
He wound back the clock there.
Timmy Torrance, mate, I think he's been big for us.
He's been good every week.
And I think we had some really. We got to.
Them young halves are really good.
Mate, yeah. I mean, everyone's underestimating our halves. They're saying that they're young and.
Akeem Torrance off the bench.
Haven't got experience, but I'm backing my halves every day of the week at the moment. I'm putting a lot of time and effort into the work off the field to make sure that they're on their game, and mate, they're showing up every week and doing the job. So
beautiful,
mate. Yeah, so that's it. I mean,
good win.
That good win, and we're happy with that. We progress this week on to this week's game against Brothers. So.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
No worries, but that's the round, mate. That's the around the grounds wrap for the week. In all those games.
You missed one.
Oh shit! Am I allowed? Well, there you go. There's my first slip too. So Bilambil beat the bye.
Bilambil beat the bye.
I think that's a well deserved bye too, because I think they come off the back of
that big game against Ballina
before. Tough game. So they'll be no doubt better for that, and they'll move into this week's rounds as well, and we'll get to that very shortly. But yeah, so that's the around the grounds wrap on the week that was.
Beautiful.
Let's move into the week that's coming.
Yep, let's get into round 12, mate.
Round 12, mate. Let's jump off the bat. Let's go into it. We've got Murwillumbah v. Bilambil up at Murwillumbah.
Yep.
I know
You've already
I'm
called
still saying it. They're
gone.
Murwillumbah season's over. So, mate, that could be a danger. I think for all those teams in the top 6 that would go in against Murwillumbah in the last 6 weeks, I think Murwillumbah can create a couple of upsets, to be totally honest. And if I was Bilambil going to Murwillumbah, I'd be confident, but I wouldn't be cocky. I'd be going there going, shit, they're going to... I think Murwillumbah is just going to throw caution to the wind now.
Well, that can spoil a few people's party, can't they?
And mate, I'm going to tip that they will.
Yep.
There's going to be a few upsets in the next 6 weeks for anyone that plays against Murwillumbah, because as much as they may not make the 6, they want to finish the season positive.
Yeah.
The big thing, though, is if they win the next 6 weeks straight, they do make the 6.
They do make the 6.
So,
and then they're going to say, we told you, Gingy.
Yeah, they will. I'm happy to have that conversation soon. Don't get me wrong.
Mate, next game.
Bombers at home v. Mullum.
It's going to be an interesting game, this one.
I'm going to say this. I was just about to say, wait, when you balance out what we just talked about with Evans, with the injuries, combined with coming off the back of a big week, I still think it's going to be tough this week.
Mullum on a high from a good win.
Mullum's on the high, mate.
Mate, they're in the top, on the cusp of the top 6.
On the cusp of the top. I think Mullum are going to be really hungry. I think it's going to be tight. I'm saying Evans because it's at Evans.
Evans is always hard at Evans, isn't it? So
I'm
going to go Evans as well. But look,
in a tight one.
Mullum proved me wrong last week.
In a tight one.
Do it again.
Evans in a tight one.
All right.
Tweed Coast Raiders v Casino over at Tweed Coast, mate.
Tweed Coast.
Tweed Coast?
Yeah, move on.
Yep. Okay. God, jeez, mate, you're pretty harsh tonight. So we jump on that. We go Coogin v Kyogle over at Coogin.
This is, mate, the way Coogин's been playing, who knows? Kyogle could get the biggies here.
Yep, good. I'm saying Coogin.
You're saying Coogin?
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
I can't say Kyogle.
Well, I'm just going to go
game.
opposite to you. I'm going Kyogle for the upset.
Mate, I'll tell you, if that happens, that's it. It's over. Coogин's done.
Yeah, I'm going to say Kyogle's going to spoil the party.
Okay, there you go, Coogin. I'm backing you. You can ring the big fella if things go the other way, because it's his call, mate. Then we followed by the game on Sunday, another NAIDOC game,
Local
derby. All the people in Lismore, put on your finest, come out, celebrate NAIDOC week, and jump on the Marist Brothers v Northern United NAIDOC game down at Oaks Oval on Sunday.
Yep.
Big game, mate. Look, I'm going to be really honest. I'm not taking this game cheaply, I can tell you that.
I wouldn't be if I was you too. You know, Marsh Brothers and Northern are
it's
two
always been a tight
local
game.
derbies. And
yeah.
Look, there's nothing that they want more than to beat Northern United,
man,
I'll tell you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, you know, they've got nothing else. They've got nothing to lose.
They still do.
They'll throw
do they still do a Bundjalung Cup or something like that? Did they used to do one of those?
I'm not quite
things?
sure. We'll have to find that out between now and the weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I said, Marsh Brothers v Northern Sunday, Oaks Oval, NAIDOC round. I think both teams are wearing NAIDOC jumpers this weekend to celebrate NAIDOC week. And no doubt we're going to have a bit of a talk about the NAIDOC jumpers very shortly. But get down if you want to see some good footy on Sunday in Lismore. Jump down and watch the Brothers v Northern game on Sunday. Next game, mate, I'm over to you.
Next game, we have got
Byron
Bay versus Ballina. Ooh. At Byron. These are always big games, aren't they?
Yeah.
Byron Bay versus Ballina.
Mate, I'm going to say, I reckon Big Popper Pump he's going to have them ready to go this week, Dill.
I think the Ballina crowd's going to be out for you, Dill.
What about that name?
Big Popper Pump.
There you go. There you go, Big Dill. You got another name. Big Popper Pump.
Him and Tomo.
Tomo. I think, mate, the move you've just mentioned, Tomo to 4.
Centre.
Mate, if I was playing, I know they've got, I think Ballina's got some quality centres, but I'll tell you what, there's no better centre in the competition on his day. When Tomo's on, he's on.
Mm-hmm.
So it could create some havoc for Ballina. I'm going to just say, go out on a limb. If Byron Bay's forward pack can aim up, this is going to be a tight one.
Mm.
I'd say Ballina.
And if Byron Bay put Carney in the 6, it's going to be very tough.
I'm saying Ballina just.
I'm going to say Ballina by 18.
Okay, there you go. I'm saying Ballina by 8. 18 to 8. So I'm Ballina by 8 for me, and I think because I just think Byron Bay, I just think there's something they can do this weekend. I'm just got a funny feeling. It's a feeling.
I've been waiting for it for a couple of weeks, but I haven't really seen it.
Mate, Lower's got a great week coming up.
Yeah, who they got?
They get the bye.
Oh, beautiful.
They're going to be on they're going to be on the happy juice. They'll be having. Oh, no doubt.
Talk about the happy juice. What's going on over here, mate? Are you back?
Mate,
are you?
Yeah. Listen, I just want to make a special announcement to all the viewers out there tonight. The Gingy's back. This is my first official beer for 7 weeks.
Don't let your physio see it.
No, I'm good.
Oh, you're
I've
allowed.
got the permission.
Oh,
that's all right.
sweet.
Yeah.
Even better. Oh, there it is.
Refreshing. Hans Premium, the best beer in town. Always up for sponsorship, Hans. I keep looking at the bloody screen, Les. Sorry, mate.
Looking at yourself.
So that's the roundup for next week. For this weekend's game, round 12. Mate, we're getting there.
We're getting
round
there.
12.
Round 12.
16,
we're not far
16
away, are we?
round competition, mate. We're nearly there.
I can't wait for these semi-final series. I really like the setup of these semi-finals this year.
Mate, Harrow's got me excited.
Last year I didn't really like the way they done the setup, but this year it's really good, mate. If you finish third, you could be bye-bye.
It's death round, isn't it?
It is.
3, 4, 5, and 6 death. 1 and 2 happy days. So
mate, all you got to do
years ago, we remember the days we used to go, we just got to finish in the top 3. We get 2 bites at the cherry.
Yeah, that's gone.
That's gone. We're not going to see that again. So this year, yeah, it's top 2 the 2 bites, and everyone else potentially could. Some of those teams, half those teams will say good night.
Yep.
Touch wood. From a coaching point of view, I'm putting my coaching hat on now. Northern United, we've got a bit of work ahead of us. 6 weeks, and we've got 6 tough weeks ahead of us, and you never know if results go our way and we're on song. A top 2 finish wouldn't be off the cards. That's the aim. But
beautiful. Round
mate,
12.
Round 12 done and dusted. Let's look at the tables. Let's have a bit of a roundup on the tables. We're just going to go through.
Let's go through the top 6. We won't talk too
one.
much. We're just going to talk about who's in the top 6. So sitting on top, all on 20 points. You got Ballina, then Bilambil, then Northern.
For and against.
For and against.
There's not much in the for and against spaces either. I think it's
50 points between Northern and Bilambil.
Yep.
And about another 70 points between Bilambil and Ballina.
So Ballina's for and
So
against.
Ballina's for and
far
against
superior.
is huge, yep.
So,
but about 50.
Realistically, you know what? I'm going to just go out on a limb. I actually don't think 1 and 2. I don't think between 1, 2, and 3. I don't think it's going to come down to points differential.
I don't think it is either.
The next 6 weeks, the top 2 will be cemented. I actually believe the top 2 is going to be cemented in the next 3 weeks.
Yeah,
and it'll stay that way. But again, am I cocky? No. Am I speaking from a rugby league perspective around what can happen in the next 3 weeks? What can happen in the next 3 weeks? And I'm just going, as I said, I'll go to limp. I think the top 2 will be sorted within the next 3 weeks, and that's the way it'll stay. I'm willing to be proven wrong, but I think that's going to be the way it is. Touch wood, the team that I'm coaching could be one of those top 2, and if it isn't in the top 2, then obviously you've got to go through death round.
That's it.
Yep.
So 4th spot, Tweed Coast Raiders on 14.
Yep.
5th spot.
Interesting. 6 points differential between 3rd and 4th. So the top 3 are pretty much done.
Yep.
Even with 6 rounds left. They're done.
Yep.
So the top three will remain. Tweed Coast on 4.
Yep, sitting on 14 points. Yep.
Byron Bay sitting in 5th spot.
On 13.
13.
Which is a shock to me. I'm shocked to see Byron that's sitting in 5th spot. But
And the Bombers are sitting in
6th spot,
6th
on
spot
12.
on 12 points. Closely followed by Mullen. Oh, geez, this is going to be an interesting game this weekend.
And
6 spots on the line.
Yep, 6 spots on the line. So Mullum's behind them in 7th spot on 11.
There you go.
There you go.
So
that's first grade
first grade.
competition.
Let's look at the
Let's
Reggies.
look at the Reggies. Sitting on top in Reggies, Belamble on 22.
What did I say to you at the start of it?
What'd you say?
I said, mate, young Chris Binge could get a grand final appearance this year in reserve grade.
Yeah.
For Belamble. Interesting.
There you go.
That's a whatevs moment.
That's a whatevs.
Yeah, there you go.
Second spot, Moorlambar on 20. Third spot, Ballina on 20. With about 30 plus points separating those two. Fourth spot, Byron Bay on 16, which is good to see.
Yeah, that is
Byron
good to
Bay's
see.
there in reserve grade as well.
Grade.
Coogin, fifth spot, 14 points.
Mate, well, Coogin, were they last year's premiers?
I think
I'm pretty sure Coogin
someone beat Belamble in the grand
Coogin
final.
did.
I'm not sure who it was.
Coogin, they upset the apple cart that day.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Sixth spot, Lower Clarence Magpies.
How good
on
is
12.
that? How good is Lower Clarence? Well done. Your reserve grade's your first grade's going great. Your reserve grade's going bloody good. They're sitting in sixth spot, top 6.
Beautiful.
Well done to the Lower Clarence Magpies.
Top 6. Let's look at the under 18s competition.
This is a tight one.
Sitting on top on 20 points, equal is Tweed Seagulls with Moorlambar with Tweed Seagulls. Actually, they're both sitting in
Equal
first spot.
points. And
They're
mate,
both their differentials exactly the same. That is
204.
that is unbelievable.
Yeah. So equal leaders.
Equal leaders. Third spot, Belamble,
Belamble,
18 points.
18 points. There you go. I think our boys towed them up too.
Yeah.
So, gee, interesting.
Byron Bay, 16 points in
Mate.
fourth spot.
I'm just going to go out on a limb in this one.
Yeah.
That Byron Bay team, very impressive.
They were good, weren't they?
I actually like that team.
Mm.
I actually think sitting in fourth spot, yeah, look, it's not where I actually think it's not where that team is a better team than fourth spot. But they're in fourth spot, so they're in.
Mate, Byron
they're in the
Bay is in the top 6 in all grades so far that we've come up. So
Oh, yeah.
18s as well. So, and fifth spot, Northern, 14 points.
Yep, good team. Just the thing with them is, my word of advice is one word. It's called discipline.
Yeah.
They could that team could beat any one of those other teams above them on a given day if they're disciplined.
Yeah. And in sixth spot, equal is Ballina and Casino. Only if points differential separating
mate,
those. So,
I mean, you know what? 6th and 7th, as you said, equal.
and it's still close
mate,
behind them.
2 of the strongest junior league bases in the competition, and they're at the bottom half of the 6.
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting.
Mate, I'll hand this one over to you. Ladies League Tag.
I know why you're handing it to me, and I'm not going to make the comment on
No.
there, but I'm just going to say it. Look, I'm just going to put the word from the Gingy and Foxy podcast. Again, no disrespect, ladies. This is really this is more of a professional point of view. The big Foxy,
Loves tackle.
he hates league tag.
I love tackle.
He's not a league tag fan. Sorry, guys. And it's not about the competition. He just doesn't like league tag. He calls it glorified Oztag, but it's a competition that's needed at this point in time. And they're doing a great job. All these girls do a great work.
They do a great job.
They do a
mate.
great job, but Foxy's not a fan.
I run the water.
So look, I'm going to run through this. Outright leader in the league tag competition at the moment is Coogin Hornets, mate. They're going well. They're a great team. I watched them a couple of weeks ago. Very, very tough team. Last year's premiers, well deserved. And
Yep.
I'm just going to go straight out on the limb, and I'm just going to call it. Coogin will go back to back. Closely followed by the Marsh Brothers team. They're up there in the league tag on 19 points. 18 points. Belamble Jets are up there flying.
I actually think Belamble's improved from last year.
The last 2 years, they've been the massive improvement. They trust me, those young girls, they've kept together doing a great job.
They made semis last year, and I think they've improved from that.
Yeah, for a guy that doesn't like it, you're keeping a good eye on the league tag game. That's great.
I have to run the water every week. So.
Ballina's up there, mate. 17 points in fourth spot. Closely followed by Tweed Coast Raiders, the biggest improver in the ladies league tag game. They're doing a great job up there in the Tweed Coast on 16 points. And then closely followed by Northern United sitting on 14 points. And there's a 4 points differential between 6th spot and 7th, being the Lower Clarence Magpies. So they're sitting on 10 points in 7th spot. So I think pretty much, I'm just going to go out there and say it, I actually think that top 6 is actually set.
Oh, it's nearly set. I'm going to say nearly set. It's getting close.
I want to come back here, and Goffey, I want you to witness this. That will be our top 6 in league tag for this year.
And, mate, last but not least,
the game we love the most.
Women's tackle.
The women's tackle comp. I'm just going to go out and say every one of these teams are playing semi-final football.
Yeah.
So,
but we'll give you a quick wrap. Lower Clarence sitting on top on 14 points.
Look at that differential.
Huge.
Amazing.
Huge.
Over 80 points differential between that and second spot.
Which is equal with them on 14 points.
And
but Lowers only played 7 games so far, so they've got a few games up their sleeve to play.
230 points differential.
Yeah. Third spot, Northern United. 10 points.
There you go, mate. They've actually, look, on their day, I'm going to just, again, I'll say this out loud. On their day, Northern United could actually produce something special, and they could beat either one of those teams up above them.
Fourth spot, Casino, 8 points.
Mate, good little team over there, the Casino girls. They're pulling it together back into the season.
Yeah, they got a win over Northern there before. Fifth spot, Kyogle on 2 points.
Yeah.
I believe they're forfeited this week, haven't they?
I think they have. We're going to talk about that game in a minute.
We're going to give you a talk about the game as soon as we go through this. And on 2 points also is the South Grafton Rebels.
There you go. So every one of those teams will take part in the final series.
And, mate, semi-final time, anything can happen, can't it?
You know what I like? Harrow mentioned it the other day. This year, for the first time in NRRRL history, will be a 5-team grand final series.
Huge day.
Whoever hosts, it's a massive day. Mm-hmm. It will start at Sparrowfart. So, it'll be near an 8:30 or 9 o'clock start. For 5.
That'd be every semi-final?
Well, it's going to have to be. It's 5 teams.
Beautiful.
So, so it's big final series coming up. So let's look forward to that one.
Mate, while we're on the women's tackle, is Magic Round...
Mate, Magic Round is on this weekend up at Tweed Coast on Saturday.
We're going Magic Round.
Guest commentators.
Beautiful.
The Gingy and the Fox.
We're on.
We'll take our media manager, Goffey, along as well. We're going to be doing a whole range of different things. One, we're going to be commentating Magic Round of the women's tackle game. We're going to be doing interviews with Tanya Booth, who's a big contributor to the women's game.
Yes.
Up there live. And then we're also going to be doing some sideline yarns with the girls that are playing in the tackle game.
Beautiful.
We'll be doing a roving mic section up there this weekend.
You love the roving mic.
We love the roving mic. So listen, if you see me and the Foxy up there on the weekend, and we're out and about, and we want to catch up to players, supporters, team officials, don't hesitate to have a chat with us. Look, it's all good. It's all good for the game. It's good for the NRRRL, and more importantly, it's about showing, what our belief is in the women's game this year, and how we think it can grow bigger and better next year, and more importantly, in 2025 when we have a full league tackle competition for the women.
That'd be good.
That'd be good. So get along to Magic Round this weekend, Tweed Coast. At this stage, there was 3 games to be played this weekend. We now know that it's only 2.
Yep.
One of the teams being Kyogle.
Double header.
One of the teams being Kyogle. Won't be participating this weekend, which means Northern gets the bye or gets the points this weekend and progress. And the other 2 games will be played between Lower Clarence, Tweed Coast Raiders, Grafton, and the other team being Casino.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be up there commentary. We'll be doing the games. We'll be giving you the best view of the game. we'll get a little bit excited, and we'll make the game a little bit exciting as well in relation to how we commentate. Can't wait for it. I literally can't wait, mate, to get up there this weekend and enjoy that game those games up there on Saturday. I've only got one. There's only going to be one hurdle that I'll have to jump, which is when the podcast finishes tonight, is go home and tell my wife that I've got my Saturday plan, and she probably will like that because it means she can go out and shop till she drops.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so, and entertain some grandkids. Yeah, so
I have to go and see if
I might even take my granddaughter. She's a big tackle fan. She plays tackle herself. She's 9 years old, the little Hadley. So
I think I'll leave
Hadley
Micah
binge,
at
mate.
home.
If you're not up to anything this Saturday, come with Pop, and we'll get up and watch some women tackles game on Saturday up at Tweed Coast.
I'll leave Micah home because you torment him too much.
Little Micah, he's my tantrum kid. I love him. I love upsetting him as well, by the way.
I know you do.
So, mate, that's the magic round taken care of for this weekend,
Yep.
and we now want to jump into some. Look, we want to have a quick thing. We just talked about NAIDOC this week. Let's have a look at some of the NAIDOC games and have a bit of a chat about what that means to these clubs. Some of the teams that you want to have a bit of a talk about, some of the representations of some of the jumpers. You've got a bit of inside info in a couple of the teams' jumpers and what it means to those teams this weekend. So, as I said, I want to jump straight into that game, Marish Brothers v Northern United on Sunday. Both teams will be represented with their NAIDOC jumpers. The Northern United NAIDOC jumper this year was designed by Sheldon Harrington. The storyline to that has a lot to do with not just Northern United, but has a lot to do with the story within the Bunjalung Nation. That has a lot of connections to all those players that come from the different communities. You know, representing as far out as Tabulum, back down through to Maclean, over through to Lismore, down through to Cabotry Island, and the storyline that has those jumpers is the connection for those communities and all encompassing the Northern United Footy Club. So I'm not quite sure about the brothers jumpers and who designed that and what that represents, but we'll catch up with those guys this weekend and we'll maybe even talk about that, next week in our podcast.
Beautiful.
So, mate, the Byron Bay jumpers.
Mate, the Byron Bay team on the weekend wore jumpers for NAIDOC week this
they
week.
did against Casino.
Which was really nice. I saw the jerseys. They come up really good, didn't they? Did you check them out?
I did. I liked them. I really did. I liked the design with the colouring scheme in that as well, obviously with the Byron colours. But the design was amazing.
It was good, wasn't it?
Do we know who did that?
Yeah, the design was from some of the local Arakwal people. Yeah, young Dylan Kay, who plays for Byron.
Mate,
him
Dylan,
and his cousin Caitlin Clark.
How good was that?
Designed the jersey together. It was really good.
Yeah.
So I'll get to it and just see.
So what's it?
I had a quick little yarn with Dylan on Facebook, Sabo, and he told me that it represents the waters and the land around Byron Bay, Walgan, that our family bloodlines have lived off and survived for thousands of years, hunting and collecting bush tucker and seafood from the Cape Byron area.
Well, mate.
And the design down the shorts is all the mobs coming together and sharing.
Oh, there you go. How good is that? So they designed a whole shorts and jumpers.
Shorts and jumpers, yeah.
There you go.
He said it was his first time putting the jersey together, so I think they've done a pretty good job.
Oh, mate, they did an amazing job. That artwork was, Dylan, mate, that artwork was phenomenal. And just the story behind the artwork. It's always good in the NAIDOC rounds when these teams come out with their jumpers to know who the artwork was designed by, what clan group they are from within the Bunjalung Nation. Obviously, the Arakwal mob down
people,
there,
yeah.
proud Arakwal mob down there in Byron Bay. We've got a couple of those Arakwal boys that play with us within Alwyn Roberts, and you've got Alwyn Roberts, you've got Clarence Kelly, you've got Malik Kelly, Torrance, mate. So there's big connections even with the Northern Club for the mob over there in the Arakwal community over there at Byron. So well done to those guys over at Byron, Dylan, and who was the other young lady that designed that?
Caitlin.
And Caitlin.
Caitlin Clark, yeah.
Well done to those guys, and I think you've done a great job, and no doubt.
Well done to Byron Bay.
Well done to Byron Bay Footy Club for investing their time and efforts into representing their community in the NAIDOC round that they played in the jumper. Are they playing in it this weekend, Les?
They played it last weekend against Casino. I'm not sure if they're playing in it again this weekend. He said it was Matt Croker, a current A-grade player, that put the Indigenous design to the Byron Bay Club.
Oh, good.
So,
well done, Matty. Great stuff, mate. Well done.
Beautiful.
And thumbs up, mate, from the podcast here, from the Gingy and Foxy.
But well done, Byron Bay. Well done, Dylan.
Look,
and Caitlin, they look awesome.
Shout out to all those other clubs too that are making an effort within their clubs to represent this weekend and maybe either next weekend or whenever they decide to wear their NAIDOC themed jumpers. Mate, jump on to Goffey, get onto the email trail.
Gingy and Big Fox Facebook page.
Well, the Gingy and Big Foxy Facebook page, and jump on and have a look, like Les just said, and give us a rap about your NAIDOC jumper and tell us what it means and what it represents. And
we'd love to know. We'd love to share it with everyone.
We'll give you a shout out.
Yeah. Tweed Coast, I noticed too, mate. They wear Indigenous designs on their jerseys every week.
Every week.
That's a part of their jersey.
There's a long and extensive history with Tweed Coast. I mean, I know the ground they play on used to be. There was a team that used to play back in Group 18, I think it might have been, Tweed Coast Stingrays.
Tweed Coast Stingrays.
Which is the ground, even the ground. I mean, I know it's now run by the Tweed Council or the Tweed Shire, but that ground used to be owned by the Tweed Coast Stingrays, and the whole clubhouse, the whole setup. The good thing that I like about Tweed Coast Raiders is they've actually kept the design concept, because they used to be in the Raiders colours as well back in the day. Their jumpers, it'd be nice to see, as I said, the Tweed Coast Raiders represent every week when they run out in their jumpers. So well done there to the Tweed Coast Raiders. Thumbs up and keep up the great work up there in the Tweed.
Everyone else, if you got jumpers and stories behind them, please let us know.
Gingy and Foxy Facebook site, Mark Goff Media Sports email and Facebook, and jump on and drop us a line and tell us what your jumper themes are for the NAIDOC rounds.
Yeah.
Okay, mate, we're going to jump into another segment, mate. We're going to talk a little bit of Origin footy. It's interesting. I'm going to my phone purposely.
The series is done and dusted.
Well, the series is done and dusted. My Queensland team definitely have done a great job this year in running out winners.
Yes, they have.
Of Origin 2023.
Brad Fittler's done a good job.
Did you say what did you just say?
Brad Fittler's done a good job.
Mate, it'll be his last job, I can tell you that. Mate, if there's one bit of reprieve that I can say to New South Wales Bleeding Hearts is by the end of this year, by the end of next Wednesday night, there's two things you won't have to worry about. Brad Fittler and Brandy Alexander. Absolutely, disappointing is all I could say. There's an old adage that the old Queenslanders always do, is they say pick and stick. Proven formula. I don't think it's been the same.
Mate, just before you get into the Origin side.
Same New South Wales team. Yeah, go on. They're atrocious.
Remember we were talking about how our poor mate Cody hasn't won a game since the podcast?
Mate, I was going to save that. But while we're here, let's
get into it now.
Let's get into it now.
They got to win.
So, Cody, congratulations, brother. There's two things that have happened going back 6 weeks ago. One, you went on a losing streak. Two, you had your first win based on us talking it up last week. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason South won is because of our podcast.
Yeah.
But, mate, Cody, I said this on the night we had you on. I actually said that Brad Fittler made a huge mistake, and I would have picked you in the State of Origin team in game one.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't make it in game one. Brad Fittler's had to watch this podcast. He's gone away. He slapped Brandy Alexander in the back of the head and said, mate, the whole series, we should have been listening to the Gingy and Foxy podcast. They told us there was a couple of selections that we should have been making. And, mate, I'm not going to let you take the credit for this, Brad. I'm not.
No.
It was our call.
Yep.
Cody Walker was picked in game one, and you've backflipped, and you've picked him in game three. I'm going to wish Cody all the best in game three. And, mate, I hope you go out and have an absolute blinder. You're getting bagged out there by your own state for your age. But I'll give you this. There's an old adage in this country, and it says, age shall not weary them, nor shall the years condemn. So for all those New South Wales supporters, don't condemn him. He's your 6. He'll do a great job. He's a local boy. We're on you, Cody. I'm an avid Queensland supporter. We've wrapped up the series, but mate, my hope is you go out and you have an absolute blinder. I'm not going to hope you win, but I hope you have an absolute blinder, mate, because you 1, you deserve it. 2, you're in form, and 3, Brad Fittler, you should have listened.
Yeah,
you should have listened. We told you.
We told
is that
you.
what I say?
All right, let's move into the
Bleeding
team.
Hearts, New South Wales supporters. Again, good luck, but not good luck. I hope it's a whitewash.
All right, mate. Give us the Blues team first.
Blues team for Game 3. James, I can't pass Tedesco. They've kept him.
Yep.
Why?
Don't know.
Why?
Maybe they've secretly told him it's his last game.
Terrible. I don't even think he played good on the weekend, but anyway.
No.
Look, I think his days are done. He doesn't know how to pass the ball. He can't be coached to pass the ball. If he did, he'd be,
Next, please.
Anyway, next minute. Get on to the next one. The most consistent, and if there's a player of the series for New South Wales this year, when they give out their little medal at their ceremony, be one of the saddest ceremonies. I think the only the team's going to turn up for this one. Brian To'o is their best player. He's retained his spot on the wing.
Yep.
Mate, I think this bloke's been up there as one of their best as well.
I think he has too,
Stephen
mate.
Crichton deserves his
He was
spot.
18th man twice, got pulled in twice. I thought he was
done
really
a great
good.
job
Yep.
in a losing team. He's probably been one of their best.
This next one shocked me.
Mate, Donald Bradman Best. That's not his proper name. His name is Bradman Best. They've picked him. They're looking to the future.
Go the Knights.
Mate, I reckon between you and me, they picked him on one game.
Yeah, I reckon
Even
they
though Brad
have to.
Fittler came out this week and said, it's not because of one game. Brad, it's because of one game.
Yeah, I reckon so.
Mate, I'm going to just go out on a limb and just say this is going to test this kid. There's one thing I'll say about Bradman Best, great player. I think he's going to struggle. He's going to struggle with the pace of the game.
The hammer.
I still think he's going to struggle with managing the hammer. I don't think he can.
Is he on the hammer or Val
I also
Holmes?
think his biggest issue is going to be the motor. I don't think the kid's got a motor.
All right.
But anyway, I've also been proven wrong at given points, but I don't think I'm going to be proven wrong at this point. Mate, here we go. Josh, I'm a grub car. Addo Carr.
The Fox, mate. I think he needs to have a big game. I
You
haven't
know,
seen
I'm
much
just
game
gonna
1,
go
game
out.
2.
Josh, I hope you listen to this podcast. Cody, lock him into it. Just take the crap out of your game, brother. Like, you're better than that. Like, dead set. Go out there. You don't need the grubbiness in your game. Particularly if you've got a number 5 or a 2 on the back. Don't go out there being a grub. Do what you do best, mate. Catch the ball and run fast. So anyway, I don't agree with that. Anyway, Addo Carr's in there. Cody Walker, we've just spoken about. Mitchell, I'm a good club footballer. Moses, he's in there. He's not a State of Origin player. Do people believe he's going to go out and have an absolute blinder? Not going to happen. I think this will be his last ever game of Origin football. I think he's not up for it. Jake Travojevic is back, great footballer, just a worker, toiler. Cookie's got a 9 on his back. Hopefully he starts at 9 and finishes at 9. He doesn't play in 4 or 3. Regan Campbell-Gillard, mate, they dropped one for Parramatta front row for another. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. I don't really care. Liam Martin, another consistent player for the Blues. I like this selection. Keon Kolomatangi should have been there in round 1.
Yeah, game 1.
I hope he does well. I hope they keep him there for not just this game, but keep him in mind.
I like this change too, mate.
Cameron Murray at
Starting
13.
at 13.
Big effort, big player, well deserved. Leave him there for 80 minutes. He'll do the job for you. Isaiah Yeo, too old. Jacob Safidi should have been picked in round 1, in game 1. Reece Robinson deserves his spot. Hopefully he's going to be an Origin player for years to come. this is the most stupidest selection I've ever seen in my life.
It's a very weird looking bench, isn't it, Gingy?
I don't like this selection at all.
Like,
Queenslanders don't pick these.
Where do you
players.
think they're going to use them? Like,
Brad Fittler said he's picked as a utility. Clint Gutherson.
so is Clint Gutherson going to come on and play 13?
Mate, I just think it's stupid. If I was Parramatta, I'd be kicking sticks.
Is that there just to see if Tedesco's not doing much,
mate.
and on goes the king?
They're not going. This is. I'm going to go out and link. This is Tedesco's last Origin.
Yeah.
This is it.
So does that
As
mean,
captain, as a player,
does that mean we're looking at Clint Gutherson next for the one? What about Dylan Edwards?
I'm going to ask you something. I'm just going to. There's only one word I'm going to say on this. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Let's just move on.
Dylan Edwards. Sorry, mate, but if you're a Queenslander, word a picture. Queensland. I'm just going to run through the team. I'm not going to talk them up. I don't need to talk.
Yeah,
this
just
team
run
up.
through
They're
the team,
champions.
mate. Yeah, just get
AJ
through.
Brimson, great in. Xavier Coates, great player. Valentine Holmes, huge. Hamaso,
Fins up, baby.
Tabio, Fado, all that,
Hammer.
the Shark Man, Dolphins man, player of the series, I think. Murray Taulagi, the best try-saving winger of Origin.
Keep going. You said you weren't going to talk anymore.
Cameron Munster, Cherry Evans, Ruben Hurricane Cotter, Harry Grant, Tino Fasamulawali. Did I say that right? That's not being disrespectful.
That was close.
Dave Fafita, Jeremiah Nanai, Patrick Carrigan, Ben Hunt, Lindsay Collins, Mo Fadawaka, and Corey Horsburgh, the Big Red.
He's in.
Legend. Great. Well done. Great selection. That team, mate, I'm excited.
I'm excited for Corey Horsburgh. I reckon he's a really good player.
Mate, he's a passionate man.
Yeah.
Corey Horsburgh will bring an edge of hardness to this Queensland team. If you're in New South Wales right now, you'd be crapping yourself. That team, that's a whitewash team.
Okay. That's our Origin roundup.
It is.
We've heard enough.
Les doesn't want to hear anymore, but I'm just going to do one more thing. 28, 12.
Oh. Let's go to 18th and 19th men.
Tommy Dearden, Jermaine Hopgood. I'd have picked this bloke over top of. I would have picked this bloke ahead of Clint Gutherson. Spencer, is it Leniu, mate, from Penrith.
He should be on the bench, shouldn't he?
He's an Origin player through and through. He's a 10-year Origin player.
Scotty Drinkwater. Nice to see him there in 18.
If he was a Queenslander, he'd have been in the team at 1.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah.
But where's Dylan Edwards?
Don't know. Let's just go.
Anyway.
What's next, mate?
Okay.
What's our next segment? What's our next segment?
Okay, we're going to jump straight into the last. We've got a few things now. We're going to jump to. Mate, we're nearly there.
We're nearly there,
mate. We got the whatevs.
Whatevs.
We just talked about the Cody stuff that was in my whatevs, but you burst my bubble.
Sorry.
The Gingy and the Foxy women's magic round. I was
We've
going to give
spoke
that
about
up.
that.
We've done that.
Yep.
Mate, Gingy back on the drink.
He's back.
Gingy's back on the drink. So there you go.
The Northern. Let's talk canteens quickly.
Canteens.
Mate, and this is not just coming from me. I've
So
had
the word on the
feedback
street,
from the
we
Goffy
We said
himself.
we'd stay away from this.
We did.
But this is going to be hard to stay away from. The Northern United canteen, absolute banger.
Oh, nailed
Absolute
it.
banger.
Nailed
They've got the healthy choice, the big Foxy wrap.
It's even a part of the canteen list.
There you go.
Now, you look up at the canteen price list and there's...
You can actually ask for it.
Yep.
What is it?
It is called the Big Foxy Salad Roll.
There you go. I might even try that at the next home game. So
But we're not being biased just because we're with Northern. We had great feedback from the man himself, from Goffy. Yep.
He's a canteen specialist. And, mate, the word on the street from Goffy is high-quality service, absolutely sensational footy food, and he couldn't speak highly enough of those ladies that work in there.
He said, yes, there was a bit of wait time because it was a huge crowd on the weekend.
It was a huge crowd.
It was a huge crowd. There was a bit of wait time, he said, but the ladies in the canteen
We're talking about that. What about that crowd?
were very nice.
What about that crowd?
Huge crowd.
It was massive.
Huge crowd. Great day.
It was probably one of the biggest crowds for a local game in Lismore for a long time. Yeah. So thank you to Evan said.
Thank you to everyone that turned up.
Thanks you to all the Northern supporters, and mate, it was just a great day.
Mm-hmm.
It was an absolute great day. Bell ringer.
I enjoyed myself.
You always enjoy yourself when you win, but at the end of the day, mate, it was just great football, mate. Probably one of the whatevs. I mean, look, there is a little bit that's come out of that game, and it's going to be talked about the next couple of days. There's a bit of a list tomorrow in the judiciary. Couple of sightings. Look, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm one of those people that if someone needs to be cited, fair enough, you go ahead and cite them. If they're put on report by the match committee, the match review committee do a review of those games every week after every game on a Monday night. They also take into account the players that are placed on report. There were a few players out of the Northern and Evans game that were placed on report. They'll be fronting up tomorrow night. Mm-hmm. But I think sometimes you've just got to leave it in the hands of the officials. You know, when it comes to, you've got very qualified blokes on the sideline running flags. You've got very qualified referees. If they believe that the game needs to be pulled up for a major incident, not a little slap off in the face or whatever, but mate, when clubs, I don't like it, and as you know, 3 years I've been back at Northern, I don't think I've cited anybody. I mean, what happens in the game stays in the game. If it's something that's happened that has had a major impact on the game, fair enough, go for it. But for those clubs that are out there, you know, look, it's tough enough as it is every week, you know, but you leave that sort of stuff up to the match officials, I believe. The entry player have got a great system in place. Apart from the blokes that officiate the games, they've also got a match review committee that review the games every game. And if there's something to come out of it, it's their job to be able to do that. So those guys that are out there in other clubs that, you know, want to play a bit of tit for tat, guys, leave it to the blokes that do it better. You know, like, seriously, I think it's to the detriment of the game, and it's not about a tit for tat. As I said, honestly, I'll go out on a limb and say if it needs to be done, yep, fair enough, go and do it. If it doesn't, mate, zip it and let the blokes that do the job the best do their job. Don't over officiate the games from the sideline. We're coaches, you know, we're not officials. Let the officials officiate, let the coaches coach, and let the players play. That's my whatevs.
That
so
it?
If you don't
got
like,
anything else?
No, if you don't like it, bad luck. It's the truth. I'm here to tell the truth. I'm not here to butter it up or make it feel pretty. It is what it is. Am I, you know, over-branding it? Probably. But there's a reason. You know, so, you know, put your pens in your pocket, guys. Other than that, you know, for me, mate, what a night.
Beautiful night. We've got another. Oh, I nearly forgot.
What have you got?
Some shout-outs.
Oh, we've got one more. We've got a new segment.
We've got a new segment.
Away from this segment, I'm going to give it to the Foxy. Poxy. Foxy. I've had a few slip-ups tonight. I've had a few. One beer, and look at what it does to me. So we've got a new segment. It's called the shout-outs.
So if you want to give us,
want
us to give you a shout-out, jump on the Gingy and Big Fox Facebook page and let us know. Be friends with it. So I got a shout-out to Tomcat. Tomcat and his Coastal Blacks team for the Murray Carnival.
There you go.
And at some stage we'll get Tomcat on. We'll talk Murray Carnival.
I was just about to say maybe the next few weeks. Can we get Tomcat to come on and
talk Murray Carnival?
Talk to Murray Carnival because we've got a lot of players from the entry.
Maybe on that special podcast we do, just a knockout podcast. Murray Carnival and
I think that's coming up the next 2 weeks.
Yep, beautiful.
We're going to cover the Murray Carnival. We're going to cover all the little knockouts that happen around the state, and we're also going to carry the Koori, the New South Wales Aboriginal Rugby League knockout in October.
Shout out to Jay Cohen.
Nephew. Here's one for the Gingy and the Foxy.
Shout out to Dennis Kelly.
Big Dan.
Shout out to Abby Poole.
Abby Poole.
Shout out
She's
to
tuning into the podcast.
Stay
tuned in, Abby.
Shout out to Rossi Beale.
Rossi.
We've seen Rossi on the weekend.
Rossi, there's only one part of that shout out I want to say. It's okay, mate. It's just a game. Well, it's just a game.
Another shout out to the birthday boy today, Alan Roberts.
Happy birthday.
And a shout out to Matty Temby.
Does the Tembos watch the cast?
Yeah, he watches the cast. He's got to watch the Gingy and Big Fox.
Well, mate, I'm going to tell you now, the shout out to Temby, mate.
Still playing.
Well, I asked you this question 2 weeks ago. Is Tembos still playing?
Still playing.
Still playing. Mate, I know there's the old adage, you've got to work it out. I know it's really hard. It was one of the hardest decisions I've had to make in my life, in my career. You've had to do the same thing, although you've retired 4 times. But Tembos.
And back out for one weekend.
Mate, kick it, mate. Retire.
He's carving up still.
Watch the kids play. What is he playing, reserve grade?
I don't know.
Winning premierships?
Yeah, probably.
Up there.
But he hasn't won one with Ballina.
Up there in one of the best parts of the country, by the way.
Beautiful. Beautiful up there.
It is. Is he at Early Beach?
He is in Mackay.
Yeah. I was up there one year. I went up there with him one year.
When Chris was up there playing.
There's one thing I will say about Tembos. apart from playing too long, he drinks too long as well. So shout out.
There you go.
There you go.
There's a shout out. So
that's a shout out section for the podcast.
Keep them coming in.
Listen, apart from the shout outs, if drop us a line either on the email address that we've got for the podcast or through the
Gingy and Big Foxy Facebook
page. If you've got a yarn, we're going to have another segment that's it. What's the yarn?
What's the yarn?
So if you've got a yarn that or for those people that don't know what a yarn is, what's the goss?
That's going to be a special one for our knockout edition.
Actually, we're going to take it from the yarn. We're going to have a section of the next podcast called Goffy's Goss.
Goffy's Goss.
Goffy's Goss.
All right, Goffy's Goss.
Goffy's Goss. So that could be anything. I'm actually going to throw it out there. It's a no holes barred goss line. So if you've got some really good goss, send it into the Goffy's Goss section. If you've got some not so good goss, send it into the Goffy's Goss section. Goffy's Goss section. We are going to put it out there on the line, good, bad, or otherwise. Truth, lies, whatever. We're going to throw it out there. So drop us a line either on the Facebook site or on the email address attached to the podcast. Get into the Goffy's Goss section. It's going to be we're going to delve right into that at the next podcast.
Yep.
So that, my friend,
that's it.
That is another wrap for round
11.
Round 11. We've got Goffy RV putting up fingers. He's only got 10. He's saying it's round 12. It doesn't work, Goffy. You need another 2. So we're going to be, mate, the next, just before we do finish.
Yep.
How exciting are the next 6 weeks?
Very exciting.
Have you seen the rounds? What's coming up?
I've seen a couple.
Next week we're going to go through the next. How about we go through the last 5 weeks of the round?
Okay.
And we'll get to that and talk a bit about that. But that, my friend, there's my hand. There's my heart.
There it is.
Happy NAIDOC week.
Happy NAIDOC week. That's another.
All those viewers, jump out there, get into the NAIDOC celebrations amongst the communities. Jump on and jump into the NAIDOC games that are happening this week. But that, viewers, that, my friend, is an NRRRL
wrap.